Tennessee Titans fans, it is August 12th, 2025, and the Titans just concluded a joint practice in Atlanta against the Falcons, who they will play Friday night in Game 2 of their preseason, and this was not good for the Titans today at all. Every report coming out of this practice from both Titans reporters and Falcons reporters indicate the Titans were sluggish, they looked tired, they looked flat. They got pretty much beat in every way by the Atlanta Falcons today. Let's take a look at some of the reports and the tweets coming out from Titans reporters from this practice, and then I'm going to tell you where my panic meter is based on where we are right now on August the 12th. Teron Davenport kind of sums it up. He says, overall takeaway from the first Titans practice today is not good. They seemed sluggish to start offensively, a lot of balls on the ground, struggled to run the ball in team period early as well. Meanwhile, Michael Penix and the Falcons cut up the Titans secondary. It's one practice, so no need to panic, but it wasn't good Friday. That's from Teron Davenport, who is always very even keel, calls it like he sees it, no bias one way or the other, and Teron's just telling you, hey, it was not good today. No need to freak out, but it was not good. The thing is, this is not the first time that it hasn't been good for Tennessee in this preseason training camp, whatever you want to call it. They had a practice so bad 2 weeks ago that Brian Callahan had to call an extra practice that week, and then he cussed them out at the end of a practice because it was so bad. Last week it got a little better against Tampa Bay. They started slow, but then they recovered, and they've got another joint practice with the Falcons tomorrow. Maybe it'll be better, but Teron Davenport is telling you right there the Titans struggled to run the ball. They came out flat offensively. They were dropping balls. Cam Ward was not very sharp today in practice, and Michael Penix and the Falcons offense carving up the Titans secondary, which is, of course, without L'Jarius Sneed, because, of course, they're without L'Jarius Sneed. That's the way they operate these days. This one is from Paul Kuharsky. This was an interview with Jarvis Brownlee after practice. Jarvis said it was all right, and then he thought on it a little bit and clarified, it was bull, you know what? We don't cuss here on the channel. We can play a lot better than that. Jarvis Brownlee says, well, I hope he's right. I hope they can play a lot better than that. But Jarvis Brownlee not mincing words right there. He started off trying to give the political answer. It was all right. And then he thought about it and said, no, it was BS is what he said. It was my initials, Brad Steele. It was BS is what it was. And, I mean, you know, that when the players are willing to just come out and say it like that, I mean, it's good that they're aware. But we'll see tomorrow. We'll see tomorrow just how fed up they are with it right here in August. Teron Davenport, once again, interviewing Chig Okonkwo after practice. Chig Okonkwo acknowledged the slow start by the offense today, and he said it's concerning after that same thing happened last week. So there's a starting tight end saying he's concerned. So if you are a fan out there who's wondering if it's okay to be concerned, not panicked, not freaking out, but concerned, Chig Okonkwo's concerned. A starting member of the offense is concerned here on August the 12th. So if he's concerned, I think it's fair for a fan like me or you to be concerned as well. Let's check out a couple more of these tweets. Easton Freeze, this is a quote from Jeffrey Simmons. We started slow in Tampa. We started slow in Atlanta. It's time to start fast. Titans defensive lineman Jeffrey Simmons is tired of slow starts just like last year, wants less words and more action. The most telling part of that quote from Jeffrey Simmons, that second part may have seemed like that was Easton adding that in, but that was elaborating more on what Jeffrey Simmons said. He compared it to last year. There were so many times we came out flat last year, and now to come into training camp at preseason this year and we're coming out flat in the joint practices. Even Saturday night against Tampa Bay, I know Jeffrey Simmons wasn't in that game, but defense gives up a field goal. Then the offense goes 3 and out, and then an 11-minute drive for Tampa Bay, and then they're up 10-0. I know it's preseason and there's starters in and out, and I understand that, but it gets you a little antsy if you're a player or if you're a fan when you start seeing slow starts, when you see the team coming out flat. Think about last year against Washington in the regular season when it was 28-0 in the blink of an eye. Think about last season when the Titans would come out and give up a long kickoff on the first opening kickoff of the game like they did against Houston. And Tennessee actually won that game. But still, there were so many times the Titans came out flat, and that's one of my concerns about Brian Callahan. He is so monotone. He is so laid back in his approach. Is that the culture we're creating where guys are coming out for the game flat with no juice? Ultimately, you can talk about Brian Callahan all you want. The players are going to have to turn that around. The best locker rooms in the NFL, the most healthy organizations and locker rooms in the NFL are not locker rooms where the coaches have to do all the work to get the players fired up. The locker room needs to do that. Players in the locker room. A couple more here. Buck Rising said Titans very much look like a team that's been on the road for 6 days. Falcons hardly special, but made more plays today. That's a wrap for day one. And that's telling too. I mean, why have the Titans been on the road for 6 days? I mean, I'm not going to use that as an excuse or a crutch because I don't believe the players would use that as an excuse or a crutch. But, I mean, Buck Rising, who really, is not afraid to tell you that the Titans are not performing well, he's even giving them that, like, hey, they look wore out. They look tired. They look like a team that's been traveling for 6 days, and now they're here in Atlanta having to get off the bus and come out here and do a joint practice against the Falcons on the road. I mean, listen, I'm not using that as an excuse or a crutch, but it probably plays a small part in this. But still, the Titans have got to go out west so many times this season. I know it won't be for 6 days at a time, but you got to go to Vegas. They got to go to, I believe, San Francisco. Like, they're going to have, they're opening games at Denver. They're going to have to travel. And then the last one from Tyler Rowland, a cheap plug. He was on the podcast yesterday. If you haven't checked that out, go check it out, episode 166. He got a lot of flack for this. He was responding to a tweet that said A.J. Terrell hit a Cam Ward pass, bounced it into the air, and it was intercepted by Jesse Bates. Tyler shared it with his own caption, which said, "Yikes, Cam has thrown so many interceptions and interception-worthy passes at this point. It's hard not to be a little concerned about it." That word concern again, just like Chigakonkwo said earlier, I'm a little concerned. A lot of people got on Tyler about this. I don't want to put words in Tyler's mouth. I'm sure he will explain it on his own podcast later today or tomorrow, but Cam Ward has definitely thrown some interceptions in training camp, in preseason, in joint practice. He almost threw one against Tampa Bay the other night. He almost had one picked off. It would be ridiculous to panic and freak out about it, but it is something he needs to get together. And I know we don't see these reps. We don't know what exactly is going on. I will say this. It feels like he has no connection with any other receiver other than Calvin Ridley. Every time I see a report of him making a nice play in practice, it is to Calvin Ridley. He's going to have to establish connection with some of these other receivers, namely these rookies. I mean, I feel like most of the near disasters or interceptions that happen in practice or in joint practice, I'm not taking the blame off of Cam. He's got to get it under control. But I also feel like every one of them involve Alec Iomanor. Every single one of them that I see, it's intended for Alec Iomanor. I don't know if that's just a coincidence or what, but I feel like his name is always involved in the plays that are interceptions. I don't know if that's a timing thing, a communication thing, a drop, a bad ball behind him, in front of him, too high, too low. I don't know. But yes, I would rather him get it out of his system now. I would rather him learn now. But I said 2 weeks ago, let's get 2 weeks ahead, get to some of these joint practices and see how they do. Tennessee held their own against Tampa Bay in joint practices last week, but they're off to a bad start with Atlanta. It's not the end of the world. No, it's not any reason to sit around and get in the fetal position and panic. But I think Chigakonkwo said it best. I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned for a few reasons. Number one, we need our quarterback, and I know he's young. He's a rookie. He hasn't even played in an actual game yet, but we need him to, stop turning the ball over. Figure it out. Stop turning the ball over. Turnovers are going to happen sometimes, especially when you're a rookie, inexperienced, but we can't just be throwing numerous interceptions every practice. But also, I'm just worried about Brian Callahan, man. I'm worried about Brian Callahan. Why does this team always come out flat? I now part of it I'm worried about him, but then I'm worried about the locker room too. Why is the locker room always coming out flat? Is it just an August thing? Is it just a travel thing? Is it just a we're tired thing? Is it just I don't know. But I'm interested to see how it goes tomorrow. I will say that, and I'll be back covering tomorrow. I'm interested to see how it goes tomorrow because they're doing a joint practice with the Falcons again, and I'm interested to see how that goes. Do they recover? I mean, this is a Titans team that prides themselves on coming back from adversity. When they get behind the 8 ball, they come back and make it happen. The other night, the offense had a 3-and-out against Tampa Bay. They came back and went on a nice touchdown drive the next time they got out there. So will the Titans be able to come back tomorrow and have a better day of practice? I hope so. I'll be here either way. But I'm worried about Brian Callahan. I'm worried about whether his message is connecting with this team. Worried about our secondary with or without L'Jarius Sneed, and I just have no faith that Sneed's going to make it back. I mean, it just feels like it's always going to be something with him. I hope I'm wrong, but without him especially, I mean, they're just getting carved up. And, I'm worried about the pass rush. I'm worried about our edge rushers who aren't really doing much of anything right now. I mean, it's just, there's a lot. I'm not panicked, but I'm a little concerned. Some things I'm more concerned about than others, but I'm a little concerned. And I think that's fair. I'm not saying that I've given up hope because that would be a stupid thing to do on August 12th. But, yeah, I'm a little concerned. A little concerned when, if this was just one bad practice after a summer of great practices, that would be one thing. But when they just had a practice 2 weeks ago where they got cussed out, when they just had a practice 2 weeks ago that was so bad that they had to add another practice, when they just had last week in Tampa Bay where they came out flat and had to rebound, I'm starting to see a pattern, and I don't like this pattern. The good news is it's only August. It's not like it's November or anything. You can realize there's a pattern and break it if you just will. I don't know, man. Let me know what you think. Tighten up.